Veranda. It's a huge honor for me to host this. I'm from Mumbai. I was born and raised there, and I can truly say that I'm a really interfaith person because growing up in Bombay, most of the people had come from outside. There was no Bombay is these people and these people are outside. Everyone was an outsider, and so there was a great unity in that. And growing up, some of my favorite memories are of the Ramzan season, of going to Haji Ali to get juice at midnight and get the Faluda treats, and it was really a part of like our year. The festival seasons of all the different festivals were just a daily, regular part of our year. So one more thing I want to add, I just love this ritual of iftar, breaking fast together. As I was cutting fruit for the fast, a really lovely feeling overcame me, and I get that feeling sometimes when I'm cooking in the temple kitchen. From your little efforts, the people who have come will be breaking the fast with you. It was just a lovely feeling. So welcome again. My two co-hosts are here, but I'd like to invite the priests to come and join us. So Swami Ishatmananda from the Vedanta Society. Welcome, please.
Thank you.
We have Pastor Larry Bullock.
Please join us.
Pastor, please.
Sorry.
We have Mohinder Singh Ji from the Palatine Gurdwara.
Actually, he couldn't make it. He felt a little bit sick today, so I'm going to hand this to Carla.
Okay, Carla Ji, please. And then we have Azam Nizamuddin. Welcome to Veranda, and we seek your blessings for this occasion.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anuja. Friends, good evening. Namaste, Sat Sri Akal, and Assalamu Alaikum. My name is Ashfaq Hussain Syed. I'm a resident of Naperville, but I have got connected with such a wonderful community in Chicago in the last 5 years. I met with great friends like Dr. Anuja, Dr. Reddy, and others in this great city of Chicago. So interfaith is something which is very near and dear to me also, because we all work. I'm also from India, Hyderabad. So we have been doing a lot of interfaith work back in India. Then I moved to Dubai, and back in Dubai again we have done a lot of interfaith. So we have worked with communities, united one community, whether it is Sikh, Isai, anybody it is. So when I came here, I saw the same community together. We all have been working, talking, meeting and everything, sharing food with each other. Recently, we thought that we should do something like this with Iftar, inviting our like-minded friends and have together, break the fast and all those things. So then we decided, yes, we three will host this event so that, we bring all the communities from all the faiths together and work. There are people who will divide all of us based on faith, religion, color and everything. No, we don't want to get into those things. We wanted people to be together. We all are one blood and we all are human beings first. So that is the critical thing which we wanted to show to the world that, yeah, we are a small group, we are small people, but definitely we can do a very good and positive, impactful things which can bring larger community together. Maybe today we are starting with a small group of 50-60 people. Maybe next year we can have it 200 people. Then can be 500 people. So this is just the beginning of this Interfaith Iftar, and hopefully we'll continue. I also requested Dr. Anuja that we should have a tour of a temple where we all can go. It's not for our purpose, but for the next generation. I brought my kids with me so that they learn about things. What is interfaith? What is your unity? How we all as a one community break the fast. So most shortly we will be visiting ISKCON temple, where we go and share our thoughts there, as well as, we show to the world that we all are one together. Same way we wanted to visit Gurudwara and church, so that our next generation can learn from this. So that is my small message from my. Thank you so much for joining us. It really means a lot for all of us.
And I just want to add one more thing here. The people we have invited today, we made a list, a short list of very select people who we thought would be like-minded, interfaith kind of people. So all of you are like special to us in that way. I feel that all of you are truly interfaith and you'd feel good about coming here and being with the others in the room. So welcome again.
We introduce Dr. Suresh Reddy, who is again a gem of a person who has hosted an iftar last week with a lot of Muslims and other community at his residence. It's a brave thing, what I can see that, but he has done excellent thing. But Suresh, over to you, please.
Thank you, Ashfaq bhai. Growing up in Hyderabad, I have friends from all the religions and communities, and my great grandfather, for 4 generations, my fourth grandfather had a very close Muslim friend, and they were so close. And the next 4 generations, they had houses right next to each other across the street, and that's an amazing feeling. And recently, because of political reasons or whatever it is, people have gone a little bit farther. But last year, the entire human race has come together. Just because a virus, small tiny virus, said you guys are all same to me. So it took a small virus to show that we are all one. And thank you for doing this. And this is an amazing. And growing up, we celebrated Ramadan and Muharram and all the festivals. And we would like to continue that. And thank you very much. We had a wonderful. And last year, when we had this COVID, when I was the president of Indian Doctors Association of America, I did a interfaith religious praying. Several of these were there at the time. Mohinderji was there, and we brought all the religions together, and we had a lamp lighting ceremony because at that point it was at the peak of COVID, and we thought we are losing the battle, and we brought all the prayers together. Thank you all for coming.
And if I could please request you to be seated, the priest will be talking for a few minutes each.
Do you mind if I stand here and just record? Yeah, record. Yeah, thank you.
More chairs? Can I bring you more chairs?
Okay. So, I would like to introduce one of our very special guests from Chicago. He's a very eminent speaker, and a lot of community members follows him, as well as I got connected to him with through one of my very good friend who was Indian Consul General of Chicago, Dr. Ashfaq Syed. And I would like to introduce and join me to welcome Mr. Swami Ishanandi, Minister in Charge, Vivekananda Society of Chicago. Sir has been delivering a lot of lectures on interfaith as well as on religious activities. So request Swamiji to please share your thoughts with all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. Thank you for inviting me. So, I belong to Ramakrishna Mission. You must have heard the Ramakrishna Mission is a worldwide spiritual organization, and Swami Vivekananda started that. The Swami Vivekananda was the first Hindu who came to America in 1893, and he gave that famous lecture which almost all Indians they know, Sisters and Brothers of America, and then he introduced the India with the America. And the name Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he is the person, though he was a Hindu, he was a worshipper of goddess Kali, but he practiced Islam. He went to the churches and prayed with them. And he had a lot of the Sikhs, they used to live near the Dakshineshwar. He learned from them what they are praying and how they are praying. So almost all the paths And not only that, we believe that he also expressed that he saw Jesus because he was describing the personality, and then afterwards, and he was a totally uneducated, so to say. He never attended any school, but he was talking like this. So all the faiths and Hindu, all different type of Hindu paths he followed, and then he said all paths are leading to the same goal. And he had a wonderful story which I told one of the ambassadors of Israel. I was in Andaman Island, and you know that Indian Ocean, Bay of Bengal, the Andaman Islands. So he had an ashrama, he was starting that ashrama, and this gentleman was visiting a private visit, the ambassador of Israel. And he told Swamiji, I have a father, mother, friends, relatives, you too. And I have a religion, you too. Then why you were different? Then I told him a story of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. I told that there is a pond, and one person is coming down from one corner and taking the water and say pani. In Hindi, they say water, pani. And another person came down and took the same water, told water. Another came and said aqua. And like different names, the same thing they were taking. Now if they fight, because, oh no, this is aqua, this is water, this is pani, this is jal, that will be so foolish. The same thing. Friends, I have published a book, Many Ways to God. And there, 6 major religions I've discussed over there. At the end, and because people don't have the time to go through, so I have given one table, how the religion came, who are the founders, and what are the practices they do. In all religion. And you will wonder if you go through that. In Christianity, they're taking the name of Jesus and counting the beads. In the Islam, they're counting the beads. The Buddhists, they're counting the beads. Hindus, they're counting the beads. All same they're doing. They fast. Every religion, they have the system of fasting. Every religion has giving the donation. Every religion has a system of visiting holy places. All the same thing we are doing. If actions are same, the result is bound to be the same. If we are doing the same action, then why we fight? Because we have the ego. It is the ego that creates the problem. My teacher is the best teacher. 2 boys were fighting. My teacher, you know, in India, 2 boys, they were fighting. My teacher is a double MA. And another boy said, but your teacher can't speak in English fluently. My teacher can, my headmaster. So they had to fight, and the family members came. There was a great commotion. Then ultimately in the final, the year, both of them, they failed in the exam. So whether the teacher is a double MA or an English speaking, then what is the, my God can walk on the water, my God can fly on the sky. What is that to you? So we have to understand, unnecessarily, we are creating problem for ourselves, and we are not making any progress. Truly, in the name of religion, you're spending the whole life. Religion is just like a water, without which, and the water and the fish, that relation, religion and human being, that relate. As the water, without water, fish cannot survive. Without religion, human being cannot survive. But if the water is contaminated, then the fish will die. Same way, if the religion is narrow, sectarian, then the people will suffer. So this is what is that religion? Swami Vivekananda, I will just say and then I will conclude. Swami Vivekananda said, religion is a process. It makes a brute unto man, man unto God. This is very simple. It's a process, it's a system. And that makes a brute a very selfish person who lives only for himself. A man who is considerate, thinking for others, helping others, praying for others. Man. And then God. And what is God? God is nothing but Love. Love is God. Without love, there cannot be anything. So I always say love and unselfishness. These are the two things that one should have, and that is called God realization. And we always think about the miracles. Now, he is taking the photo, maybe sending somewhere else. That's a miracle, isn't it? 100 years before, I am standing over here and people are seeing me in India and other parts. Great miracle. And now, science is doing the same miracle. That is nothing. Are you a better person? That is the question we should ask every evening before going to bed. Am I a better person today? Did I pray for others? Did I feel for others? Thank you, friends.
Thank you, Swamiji. That was a very wonderful speech. I like the analogy of the human with religion of fish with water. That was insightful. Thank you. Next, I would like to request Pastor Larry Bullock. Pastor has been a very prominent person in the Northwest suburbs. He's the president of the U.S. Minority Contractors Association. It's a very big association with 28,000 members locally. Been a very prominent part of the black community and the black churches of our area. So welcome, Pastor.
Thank you, Doctor. I'm going to keep my seat. When you're 6'4" and you're 240, you stand up. It intimidates people, especially the little ones. Always mindful of the fact, don't tower over these people. Just sit. First of all, thank you so much, Swami, for those wonderful remarks. By way of introduction, I could not do as well as Dr. Gupta has done. But I'm from Barrington, northwest suburb. My church is in Palatine. And I am an ordained Methodist minister. I'd say about 2 decades ago, I came to the northwest suburbs to plant my church in a place called Schaumburg. And when I came out here in Schaumburg, I was looking for fellowship. I was looking for opportunities to work interfaith. Having gotten my second master's from the University of Chicago, and if you know anything about the University of Chicago, there's a lot of faith communities in Hyde Park and seminaries, yes. And when you take a course in one seminary, we take it at Catholic Theological Union McCormick Seminary. But I ended up going to a interfaith meeting at Christ the King Lutheran Church. One of the gentlemen who invited me there was the chaplain of the Schaumburg-Hoffman State Fire and Police Department. So he'd been after me to come and meet some people out here. You must come, you must come. So I went to that meeting. I told this tale a few days ago when I was with Dr. Gupta there at India House. And ever since I've been over to the India Hub, I've been an acolyte for India Hub all day for the last 4 days, telling people. And I spoke to Rob Block this morning, told him he's got to get on the stick to help you with your 501c3 because of their food pantry. And I met Kapoor there, and she just stole my heart. But I went to that meeting, and there were interfaith leaders there. There were Lutherans and Christians, and the Jewish communities, and the Sikh and the Hindu community. They were all there. And so they did what she did. They said, we'd like to have you say a few words. And I said a few words. When I left that meeting, they had selected me as the chairman of the Schaumburg Hoffman Clerk. I just came for a meeting, and the same things happened in many other times. I went to a meeting at Roosevelt University once, and they said, you got to come to this conference. I leave the conference, I'm the president of the Alumni Association. I don't know what that's all about. So I don't know. I'm not running for anything right now. But I served 1 term as the chairman of the Interfaith Council of Schaumburg-Hoffman State. So after that, I went back and I said, okay, guys, I did what you told me to do. So now it's time for us to have elections for new offices. Somebody's hand goes up. Oh, no, we don't need elections. What do you mean we don't need elections? Because you have to serve 2 more terms. So what we did in Schaumburg-Hoffman Clergy Association is to have our annual Thanksgiving services, which were all interfaith at Prince of Peace Lutheran Church. And I would say that you can finish seminary and you can get those seminary degrees. You can go to the legislature and you can get all that, but nothing beats when you come together in fellowship and you break bread. And to have a fellowship meal. I think you get to see the best in human beings in the faith community. So, in my tradition, the Christian tradition, we celebrate fast. I teach and preach 9 types of fast. So, when Dr. Gupta asked me to come to Iftaar, I looked forward to it. I told I was rushing to get out of my office and have 7 Indian engineers in my building. And the guy says, "Oh, I haven't seen you in a long time since COVID about a moment." I said, "Yeah, but I gotta go to Iftaar." He said, "Oh, go pray and then eat." So, one of the things that I learned about the fast in my tradition and all traditions, and by the way, thank you for talking about ego, because I preach and teach ego. And ego is an acronym for edging God out.
Yeah.
When you kick him out of the way, then you work on ego. But what I found out in fasting, the best fast that you can do is to fast from hatred. The fast from hatred. It's not what you give up, it's what you're committing to do. And certainly we live at a time in the world when hatred seems to be running rampant, especially in America and across Europe, Africa, Asia, Africa, even Australia and places like that. Hatred. And I don't know what God you serve when you're driven by hatred. I don't know what kind of God, I don't recognize that God. It's not someone I recognize. And obviously, I follow an apostle who gave his life selflessly for mankind. My greatest apostle after Jesus Christ was Martin Luther King, who was the apostle of love. And wherever you saw him, you saw Rabbi Abraham Herschel. You saw Hindu and Muslim supporters of Dr. King. When he wanted to get his PhD in life, he went to India and studied Mahatma Gandhi. And he came back a changed man because he studied nonviolent, peaceful revolution. And you know the rest of the story. He ended up with a Nobel Prize. So what did he learn from Mahatma Gandhi? He learned from Mahatma Gandhi to be selfless, to allow love to overcome hate. And so I was excited when Dr. Gupta invited me to come out. I wanted to be here. Because before many of you even came to America, as I told the story, I was helping the new immigrants from India assimilate. Help them get their engineering degrees. I was a senator. And in the legislature and having access to government, you can help people. So every time I'd help one Dr. Gupta, they come back to my office, they bring in somebody else. It's like a beggar finds bread, then he goes and tells other people, "Come, we can go get a meal." So I was no stranger to the Indian community. The same was true when we had Hispanics come to the legislature, some of the first ones. I grabbed them by the hand and I helped them assimilate. Because I believe that that's what we need to do. We need to always keep our hands open and our hearts open. So I come today to say thank you for allowing me to come and be with you. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for letting me be here.
Thank you, Pastor. It's always so lovely to listen to you. I can listen to you every day and I learn something totally new. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
And I really like what you said about fasting. It's the best kind of fast is fasting from hatred. That is lovely. Thank you. Thank you. Thakurji, could you please introduce Kalraji?
Hello folks, my name is Thakur Basati and I have been associated with Brenda from the very first day when she came to Chicago. We had a meeting and we talked about this community here. And I'm so happy to see the development here. And this is even the best one when everybody came together. I think this is we need it. Before I introduce, I just want to add when you said something in the beginning that there are few people you invited. Somebody told me one time some well-known singer was invited to Shimla, and he was supposed to perform, and this guy is all excited that, oh, I'm performing in Shimla. But half an hour before the performance, he asked the organizer, how many people are you expecting? And he said, about 40. I'm not performing for 40 people. I'm a known singer. He says, could you please perform just one song and then see? All these 40 people were the brigadiers of whole of India. So you guys are the brigadiers of India. And in Sikh tradition, we don't say one, we don't say ik, we say sawa lakh. So multiply that and you have the whole community here. Anyway, we are from the Sikh faith, and Father, good to see you. Swamiji, namaskar. We have seen you all everywhere almost, like you just mentioned. We have our two gurdwaras, we call them, one in Wheaton, one the oldest one and the largest one in Palatine. And so we brought some people, and I'm going to request Gulshan Singh to speak a little bit in English, then Surinder Pal Singh Kalar will say the prayers, Ardas.
And first of all, Gupta, thank you very much. See, we have people from north, east, west, south, that what he was saying, assimilating. And before that, somebody was saying about Swami Vivekananda. And his guru, Paramahansa. See, I love to talk. If you talk to my you don't like it. So I'll come to one simple thing as a Sikh, which is very dear to me. But before I became a Sikh, I was educated in a Christian school. And my first 5 years afterwards, co-education was not allowed, so I was out from being a man. And then I went to, they have DAV schools and colleges in my part of the country. They were Hindu schools by and large. They were teaching that thing. And I'm Sikh, but and I lived in Delhi. So then I had a lot of Muslim friends there. So Buddha was always one of my, kind of heroes, so to say, to leave everything and then to move out. So I did some comparative study of different religions and found commonality. As some was saying, beads. All these beads are different religions, and the wire that connects them, that's God. And that's God. And that's what they said, ik, one. And all the major religions and people, let's say Jesus was in Jerusalem area, Muhammad was in Makkah, Muhammad was in Punjab, and Rumi was in what we call today, Turkey. And then there are some, philosophers from Africa as well. They were born in different places, different countries, and everybody has same common message. Why? They had light in them. When Hazrat Muhammad said there's only one, he had light in him. But then he expressed that. No, here comes the problem. What's the problem? Then we use two words, Bani and Qurbani. God's word is Bani, which Hazrat Muhammad Sahib was privileged to have that. But when he used that words to create that become Qurbani, because you do need somebody in between to convey God's message to you. So that became Qurbani, right? So all that Qurbani depends upon words. And words have limitation and God has no limitation. That's why no way, doesn't matter how many words somebody uses, you cannot express God fully. But you can do one thing that he very wisely said, intent, love. Jesus talked about love, and Baba Nanak talked about love, and Muhammad talked about brotherhood. So they had commonality, Buddha, same thing. Krishna, same thing. So all these people who have Prakash, light in them, they said the same thing. But why it appears different to us? Again, as they said, we take water, we say water, the other all say pani, somebody say aqua. So it's our perception, a limitation of our words. I wrote a book about 10, 20 years back, 50 years back. Ek, sirf ek, one and only one. If we find that concept, there is a tree, there's a lot of fruit. But tree is one. We have fruits. Why should we dislike each other? We are brothers. And that's why I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity that Bullock gave us. And now, sixth tradition is, we do thank God. So my brother, after, another 1 minute I'll be done. So he'll say the Sikh prayer.
Next this evening.
And there, we wish best for everybody, not particular religion, not particular sect, whole humanity. And if somebody has read Rumi, or somebody has read, Yunus Emre, Baba Farid, Guru Nanak, ek, and then one more thing, all of them said, Wow, speak. One word was spoken and whole creation was created. One word was spoken. And I do not go to that further detail because it will take I bore you guys. So, what about again? Common thing. Love. Baba Nanak said, Jesus said love. All these people were born from different countries, different areas, different languages. Why they said commonality? Because that's what God meant. And these people have light in them and they understood it. Without, elaborating too much, I think all that's my brother, if you have to say prayer. Salsa? You should say prayer now?
Yeah, that's it.
Please go ahead, if that's if it's okay with you. Thanks, sir. Thank you, brother.
In our religion, before I start the prayer, few things I would like to share with you. And one of the quotes from the Guru Granth Sahib is, Sarva Dharma Shreshth Dharma, Har ko naam jap nirmal karm. Meaning, that religion is the supreme and that religion is the really relevant religion, which teaches that your deeds should be pure. And when they are pure, pure means no hatred to anyone, love and embracing everybody to you without respectively of caste, creed and sex. There are three pillars of our Guru Granth Sahib Gurbani. Naam japo, vand chako, kirt karo. Naam japo means meditate on one God. And that God is, he has having a love for everybody. He doesn't discriminate anybody. And if you meditate on him, you will develop those characteristics in you also, in your personality, and as a result, you will have hatred to none. Naam japo vand chako, meaning whatever you have earned with the sweat of your brow, whatever you have earned with your earnings, you should share with the others also, because some people may not have the privilege to earn livelihood, but you should share your earning with the others also who don't have that capability of doing that. And Choko Kirt Karo means you should always earn your livelihood through honest means, not through the dishonest means. These are three pillars of our religion precisely. Now I come to the prayer where we seek the seek from Almighty goodness for everybody. And also we seek the blessing that every formality that every ceremony that we are going to do should end in pleasant environment. So let's start with the prayer. प्रथम भगवती सिमर के गुरु नानक नहीं ध्याए, फिर अंगद गोते अमरदास रामदास होई सहाय, अर्जन हर गोविंद नु सिमरो श्री हर राय, श्री हर कृष्ण ध्याइया जिते सब जाए, तेग बहादुर सिमरे करनौ निध्या में तारी, सब थाई होना जी सहाय, दसवां पातशाह साहिब श्री गोविंद सिंह जी सब थाई होना जी सहाय, दसा ही पातशाह दी जोत श्री गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जी दे पाठ दीदार का ध्यान करके बोलो जी वाहिगुरु। निलमाणिया दे मान निताणिया दे तान ने ओटिया दी और सच्चे पिता वाहिगुरु जी आप दे हजूर जोतली विनती सतगुरु वी रिक्वेस्ट बेनती है सतगुरु जी कि जो भी सेरेमनी जो भी इवेंट इस पर चल रही है आपका आशीर्वाद लोड़ींदा है, आप जी आशीर्वाद चाहिए है, आप दी ब्लैसिंग वी नीड योर ब्लैसिंग सो दैट all this proceeding, the event that is happening here should go on smoothly with your blessing. We are all your sons and daughters, so please give us your blessing. Thank you very much. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.
I would like to introduce our next guest speaker, Azam Nizamuddin. Azam Nizamuddin is an attorney by profession, and he is one of the ambassadors of Interfaith, I can say, because he has been doing interfaith work for the last 20 years in Chicagoland, and he travels across US for interfaith events, to speak at interfaith events anywhere and everywhere, you know. So please join me to welcome Azam Nizamuddin, our keynote speaker from Muslim community.
Thank you all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, shanti to you all. This is a really delightful event tonight. I'm really honored that you invited me with such an august audience. And I've been asked to talk about Ramadan and fasting tonight, just before we break our fast. And as you know, at this time, those of you who are fasting, we're at our lowest energy. So I want to thank Ashfaq for putting me last. But I have to take a minute to just talk about the historic nature of this event in my eyes. As Brother Ashfaq mentioned, I've been doing interfaith for about 25 years, really immediately after law school and then into when I was even practicing law, and then after September 11th, I got calls from churches, synagogues, agencies, etc., different organizations. And I have to tell you, one of the biggest concerns I always had was that interfaith always involved the three big religions of Judaism, Christianity, Islam. And I always lamented the fact that not enough of interfaith involved our brothers and sisters from the Hindu and Sikh community. And I hope that the effort made by Dr. Anuja Gupta, Suresh Reddy, and Brother Ashfaq heralds a new wave of more interaction between our respective faith communities, particularly those of us from the South Asian tradition. We've lived together for centuries, we've got along for decades. I'm from Hyderabad, my family's from Hyderabad, I have still relatives in Hyderabad. And it's really important for us to continue, or actually really herald this event. So thank you so much. And I was listening to you three talk, I couldn't help but think of three other individuals who really, brought freedom and really began the new era of the nation state of India, which was, of course, Gandhiji, Nehru, and of course, Maulana Azad. And I think you three kind of echo Maulana Azad, Gandhiji, and Nehru in that sense. And I think that's really important to remember those three individuals, how they worked together for the sake of unity and bringing about independence for India. In any event, I will just take a few minutes to talk a little bit about fasting. And you all know about fasting Ramadan. There was many allusions to the cultural aspect of waking up for Sahri And then during the iftar, it's really a fun time because we get to enjoy the best foods there is, which is of course samosa, dahin bade, and chole, right? Those are the fun things that we enjoy and so forth. And then there's Eid and there's Chandrat and all that when people are putting mehendi and things like that. Not people, women I should say. Those are the cultural aspects which many of you are familiar with. I want to tell you a little bit about the more spiritual dimension, which is really crucial to understand and really remember. And that has to do with how we understand who we are as human beings. The supposition of Islam is that we as human beings forget where we came from and who we really are in our essence. And to do that, we have to ask three fundamental questions. And I would ask my children to remember these questions as my students in Loyola when I taught there, which is the following. Number one, who are you? Where did you come from? And where are you going? Every faith tradition, every person who belongs to a faith tradition has to ask that question of themselves, regardless of what your background is, whether you're Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. Who are you? Where did you come from? And where are you going? From the Islamic tradition, that's answered by the following three responses. Number one, the 5 pillars, Islam, in other words. Number 2, Iman, which is faith or creed, and Ihsan, which is being close to God. Who are we? Are we simply flesh and bone? Just physical in nature? Or is there a spiritual dimension that we can tap into that is necessary for us to both do good and to connect to our Creator? Where do we come from? Is it simply a physical location that we emigrated from a particular land? Or are we also immigrants from a celestial place? A celestial place that we had origins in that we have now forgotten. And where are we going? Is it simply to accrue as much wealth and then slip away? Or is there another existence that we will go to? A continuation to another realm, a world beyond what our eyes and ears can envision. These three aspects of Islam, Iman, Ihsan are heightened and reach their pinnacle during the month of Ramadan. For it is this time that Muslims pray more, read more, reflect more, and give more charity than at any other time of the year. And that's what makes this month so much more special. These are the things I talked about we're supposed to do during the time, but this particular time, we're supposed to do it. The idea of this human condition is really well discussed by Rumi, that a couple people had mentioned. Jalaluddin Rumi, the famous poet, scholar, and Sufi from Central Asia, who's now known and buried in Turkey, he begins his most famous work called the Masnavi, which is his 25,000-line epic poem of couplets, rhyming couplets. And he begins this way. He says, "Listen to the reed flute and the tale it tells of it being in separation." Now this is the reed flute talking. "Ever since I was cut from the reed bed, men and women have joined in my lament. I keep seeking other hearts torn by separation, so I can share my tale of longing and pain. Whoever becomes distant from their roots seeks to return to where they came from. Everyone befriends me because of what they think who I am, but no one really seeks me for who I am inside. My secret is woven into my lament, yet no eyes have the power to see the soul. The cry of the reed is fire, not wind, so whoever doesn't possess this fire, may he be not." What Rumi is doing is taking the reed that we see in swamps and ponds, which then are converted into a flute. In all our traditions, Indian, Persian, Central Asian, North African, Middle Eastern, the flute is a very common instrument in music. This particular flute, when you blow it, it kind of has a wailing sound, a sad sound. Rumi is using that to describe the human condition. We were plucked out and taken from where we came from, just like immigrants that we came from our homeland are now here. And now when we are breathed into, we feel lament, a longing. And it is from this that Rumi and other scholars say that it is fasting that allows us to reconnect to our past. Not simply through meditation or worship, but through actual fasting. So this addresses who we really are. When we realize that we're not simply skin or muscles and bones, but in fact we have a spiritual element called a soul. In Arabic it's called a nafs. We seek to understand how it works. The Quran states, "O who you believe, fasting is prescribed upon you as it was prescribed on before you," in other words, in other traditions, so that you can become God conscious. According to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, fasting serves as a protective shield from the vices and wrongdoing from the nafs and the soul. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we fast, we're not simply abstaining from food and water, which is what everybody knows about, and sexual relations during the day. But according to Imam al-Ghazali, the most important Islamic theologian, the fast of those who are the most elevated is a fast from harming others, from not hurting other people. It's a fast from the eyes, from the ears, from the hands and the legs to abstain from sin, to abstain from any kind of wrongdoing, backbiting, feeling envious. Why is this person here? Why don't I have what that person has? That person has a Tesla. I wish I had the Tesla. That person has $1 million home in Oak Brook. I wish I had that. Why is that person speaking? I should be there. Why is that person a leader? I should be there. These are the kinds of things that in Ramadan that we are taught to refrain from. And then finally, the fast of the elite, which is doing nothing but thinking and worshiping about God Almighty, so that you subsume your soul with God Almighty. The 3 levels of fasting as Imam Ghazali has described. Finally, let me conclude. I know it's time to break the fast, so I apologize. Mahatma Gandhi said, and again, this is so much part of different faith traditions, Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism. He says, a genuine fast cleanses the body, mind, and soul. It crucifies the flesh, and to that extent sets the soul free. A sincere prayer can work wonders. It is an intense longing of the soul for its even greater purity. Purity thus gained, when it is utilized for a noble purpose, becomes a prayer. I believe there's no prayer without fasting, and there's no real fast without prayer. It is my own firm belief that the strength of the soul grows in proportion to the flesh that is subdued. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for inviting me. Thank you for the organizers. It is time for us to break our fast at this time, and we do so with God's blessings and mercy and with fellowship and friendship with you all. Thank you so much.
You can start here. Breaking the fast now.
Yes, please. Thank you so much to our priest.
Thank you.
Be there. Is the first 3 verses. Who I am.